Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're plunging into the thrilling, sometimes, well, chaotic world of club football. Specifically, we're digging into that recent FIFA Club World Cup quarterfinal. Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund. The semis are set now, but wow, that game.
Yeah.
It was absolutely packed with drama. Still feeling the ripples from it.
Oh, absolutely. We've been pulling apart the details, and it really was a roller coaster. That tactics, shocking twists, everything. So our mission today, unpack those key moments, the surprises, and figure out what it all means for Real Madrid going forward. They've got a tough road ahead.
Definitely. This match, it wasn't just about the 3-2 scoreline, was it?
Not at all. It was almost like a masterclass in how tiny moments, split-second decisions, especially late in the game, can just have huge consequences. Not just for the match itself, but, for the whole tournament campaign. Get ready for some real aha moments, I think. There's a lot here.
Okay, so let's pull back that curtain. Dortmund. Real Madrid wins 3-2 in the end. But the real heart-stopper, the bit that turned it from maybe a solid win into this crazy drama, it was almost all in injury time. 3 goals, a red card, a penalty, all crammed into those last few minutes. Just imagine the tension.
Tension barely covers it. Honestly, it's the kind of ending that ages coaches by about 5 years. And what's fascinating is just how quickly it all flipped. Madrid were, comfortably 2-0 up, seemed like they were cruising. Then boom, deep into injury time, Dortmund's Maximilian Bayer scores 2-1. And suddenly, those last seconds, which felt like nothing, they're charged with this desperate energy from Dortmund. They had been pushing, to be fair.
Right, they put some pressure on in the second half, even if the final ball wasn't always there. But okay, the chaos didn't stop at 2-1. Almost straight from that kickoff, Real Madrid substitute superstar Kylian Mbappe
responds instantly with that fantastic acrobatic strike, made it 3-1.
And you think, okay, that's it, surely. But nope, kickoff again, and almost immediately, foul in the box, penalty to Dortmund. The stadium must have been just buzzing.
It really was something else. And this whole sequence, it brings up big questions about decision-making under, extreme pressure. Sergio Guirassy gets pulled down in the box. Real Madrid's young defender, Dean Huijsen. Now, maybe from afar you think, a bit soft. But the rules are pretty clear here. If a player gets pulled down and it's not a proper tackle, not an attempt to play the ball with the foot, especially as the last man, it's a red card. And a penalty. Huijsen's foul. It was a pull, no attempt on the ball with his feet.
So the red was justified then, even at that stage?
Yeah, by the letter of the law, absolutely. It's just a stark reminder, isn't it? Yeah. A fraction of a second's bad judgment. Huge consequences.
Okay, so beyond the immediate drama, what does this actually mean? That red card for Dean Huijsen, it was just a moment. It's got real immediate implications for their next massive game, the semifinal against PSG.
Exactly. Connecting the dots here, Huijsen being out is a major, major blow. He's not just another defender. He's really central to how Madrid built from the back, his passing. It's simple, but so effective.
Those crisp balls to Fran Garcia, right? Yeah. And the diagonal switches.
Precisely. He does it so calmly, even under pressure.
Yeah.
Losing that profile, that composure against a team like PSG press high, they transition fast. It creates a real defensive vulnerability. It disrupts their whole system.
And the feeling is, this was maybe a bit of inexperience, a young player getting caught up in the moment.
That seems likely. I mean, Sergio Guirassy scored the penalty, sure, but with so little time left, it didn't change the result. But the red card, missing the next match, that's the killer for Real Madrid right now.
So who steps in? That's the big question.
Well, looking at the options, there's Asensio, but he's had moments, let's say, of petulant behavior, some rash tackles earlier on. And you've got Rudiger. He played okay in this game, showed his physical side, but maybe not fully back to peak form after his injury, still finding that rhythm. Tchouaméni's been doing a great job, actually, in that anchor role. Stepping up from defense into midfield, covers so much ground.
But putting him at center back against PSG for 90 minutes,
it's a different challenge altogether. Each option means a different tactical compromise for Xabi Alonso. He'll have to weigh that up very carefully.
Okay, let's switch focus a bit. Talk about the stars, the game changers. Mbappe comes off the bench, scores that fantastic goal. That's 44 goals for him this season now.
Incredible numbers. Astonishing, really. Especially when you remember he had a slightly slower start to his debut season. But wow, he found his scoring boots quickly. Adapted to that number 9 role beautifully. Even picked up some individual awards along the way.
And there's this whole discussion, isn't there? about whether he should be starting ahead of Gonzalo Garcia.
Yeah, it's a proper debate because Garcia's been in excellent form too.
So what's the thinking there?
Well, the insight seems to be maybe it's not instead of Garcia. Maybe it's playing Mbappe on the left where Vinicius usually is. That way you get both Mbappe and Garcia on the pitch together. Maximize that firepower.
Which brings us neatly to Vinicius Jr., because the observations from this match suggested he struggled a bit.
Didn't get on the ball much, and his defensive work, the pressing, apparently wasn't quite up to scratch for Alonso's system.
He's adjusting to something new tactically.
It seems so. Maybe needing to drift inside more into that left half space, not just hug the touchline, and also being coached, apparently, to vary his play. Not always take the man on, sometimes make the simple pass.
It requires discipline.
Absolutely. And his counter-pressing, winning the ball back high up, that's vital in Alonso's system. They want it back immediately.
So this raises a tough question.
Yeah.
If someone had to be benched against PSG based purely on current form, could it be Vinicius?
That's what the analysis suggests, yeah. And it really highlights Xabi Alonso's approach, doesn't it? Prioritizing merit, current form, over big names or seniority.
Which is crucial for success, right?
Yeah.
Especially at a club like Madrid.
Totally. You need that competitive edge, everyone earning their spot.
And meanwhile, Gonzalo Garcia sounds like he fully deserves his place.
Oh yeah, making a real impact. His link-up play, the pressing, those clever runs off the ball, even holds it up sometimes like a target man.
Alonso clearly trusts him.
Definitely giving him confidence. And we can't forget Arda Güler, 2 beautiful assists in this match.
Showcasing that creativity.
From both sides, central areas. Alonso seems to be getting the best out of him in that attacking midfield role. A big change from before. He's thriving.
Okay, well, the forwards always get the headlines. Let's give some credit elsewhere. Some unsung heroes. Fran Garcia at wingback played exceptionally well, didn't he?
He really did. And, I'll admit, maybe last season there were questions. Is he really Real Madrid quality? But under Alonso, he's showing immense quality, real purpose in that wingback role.
What is it about his game now? The mentality.
Yeah, described as possessed almost. You see it defensively, tracking back with that extra burst of energy, making key tackles, and offensively too. Providing width, getting forward, scored that goal, showing great anticipation to get on the end of a cutback.
Right, great desire to get there.
His whole attitude, wanting to be first to everything, it's outstanding. And this system, with Vinicius sometimes tucking in,
Creates space for him.
exactly, gives him more freedom to attack. Totally different from before when he was often stuck behind the winger, barely saw the ball. He's clearly enjoying it.
And then Thibaut Courtois. That save from Sabitzer's volley. Just, wow.
Unbelievable, wasn't it? Looked a certain goal, a moment that could have completely changed everything.
Definitely.
He just pulled off a miracle, literally saved them from potentially facing extra time with only 10 men. That would have been incredibly tough.
You could argue that save won them the match.
You really could. And connecting it to the bigger picture, Courtois does this time and time again, doesn't he? Those huge saves in crucial moments, Champions League wins. His performances are sometimes understated, but they are absolutely vital.
He's been their savior so many times.
Countless times. Just another example of him being world-class, making those game-defining stops when it matters most.
Yeah.
It's almost expected now, which says everything.
Okay, so looking at the whole game, there's this contrast, isn't there? First half, Madrid looked dominant, controlled. Second half, a bit of, sloppiness crept in.
Yeah, definitely. And Dortmund responded. They made those triple substitutions. Bayer, Mecca came on, really boosted their midfield and attack. And they managed to exploit Madrid's slightly more relaxed play. The passing got sloppier. The pressing wasn't as intense through the middle.
Which led Dortmund back in.
Exactly. Gave them that foothold to push on and create that drama at the end.
Which brings us back to PSG. Can Real Madrid afford any sloppiness, even for a short spell, against them?
That's the million-dollar question. Because the assessment is that PSG are arguably the best team in club football right now. Not just because they won the Champions League, but they're just such a formidable unit, so balanced, so dangerous.
They'll punish any weakness far more ruthlessly than Dortmund could.
Without a doubt.
Now, to be fair, Xabi Alonso did react in the second half. Brought on Modric, Lukita, and Ceballos to try and settle things down.
Brought that experience and composure, and his focus on merit is clearly working overall. The young players, Güler, Fran Garcia, Valverde, Hausen before the red, they've been fantastic under him.
Flourishing, really. And their counterattacks could be lethal, too. So quick.
Oh, incredibly incisive. They have immense attacking power even when they're defending deep.
But still, that PSG test looms large. That defensive vulnerability, especially without Hosen.
It's going to be severely tested. PSG have the quality, the speed, the collective threat to exploit that gap much more effectively than Dortmund managed, even in those crazy final minutes.
So wrapping this all up, what's the takeaway for Real Madrid moving forward? They got the win, yes, that's the bottom line. But this deep dive really shows a team with, incredible individual talent, a smart coach making good decisions, but also these clear moments of vulnerability, that second half dip.
Absolutely. And that PSG challenge, it's going to define their Club World Cup campaign, a true clash of titans. Real Madrid's ability to stay focused, defensively solid for the entire 90 minutes, especially missing a key defender like Hosen, that's going to be absolutely crucial.
Yeah. This Dortmund match really was football in a nutshell, wasn't it? Unpredictable, thrilling, maybe a bit brutal. It really leaves you wondering, how much does missing just one player truly affect your chances against the very, very best? And can a team like Madrid shake off those moments of complacency when the ultimate prize is on the line? Definitely something to think about until our next deep dive.